So, welcome back. This will be the last bit on the Juliet for a little while until we see it on the track. Nothing's here anymore. Even the bits that you're about to see have all gone off to my dad's house now. So he's in the process of putting it back together. I did see him the other day, the chassis is running on air, and he's making bits for fitting the injector. He's made a steam valve, he's made a double clack to put on the side. So it's all coming together nicely. I will show you all of that as and when I see it at the club. So for now, I've got to say, I open up saying it's a week since my operation. It's now actually 6 weeks. So yeah, I've come a long way since then. Let's see what I had to say. And so we're another day on the actual fact. Today is 7 days from my operation and I'm feeling pretty good, to be fair. I'm not really taking the painkillers that I've been given as and when you need, and it's going pretty well. I've still got a couple of videos that you will have seen by the time you see this, but that haven't been posted yet, so you're a little bit behind where I am. But for today's 10 minutes of work, or this morning's 10 minutes of work, I thought, you know what, I will take the cab now that the inside's dry. Looks nice. And the trim around the windows and around the back of the, you can't really see it in the video there, but there is some half round beading around there and around the windows. I'm just going to brush paint that black to draw them out and give a nice look of them. And I thought, well, as I'm doing the black, I'll just touch up the little bits that are needed, like the screws that hold the filler lids for the caps on. I know at some point the counter screw heads around the top will be needed to be done as well, but they can be done later. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to do them, then the 4 screws which hold the lubricator to the running board can be done as well. So I'm going to bolt this to the running board, then touch the paint up on them. I might as well fit the tank to the running plate as well. And then, yes, we can carry on from there. Then I'll get onto the black on the windows. So let's take a look. And there we go. Oh, it looks like I didn't pay much attention to this side when I was doing it. I'll have to go back and touch that up. But they look a lot better. And that is starting to give an idea of what it'll look like. Put the lid on as well. Oh, that's lots all bolted together. This one isn't on yet, the other running board's still in the workshop, but there was nothing to paint on this one, so I wasn't too worried. I also put a little dab of paint on top of the red here. That's the bypass, so when it's shut, that'll point forward, so it's a little visual indication of where the bypass is sitting. And yeah, getting very, very close. So I think that's about it for the paint. I've had another look and it's not as bad as I thought it was. The camera makes it look worse. There is a slight run on the black from the roof there, so I might have to get the red out and touch that up at some point. So all of the bits have gone now, except for the footplate for the engine. So the reason this hasn't gone is because I'm going to put a wooden floor on. If you remember if you were watching when I did the pom-pom, I prefer a wooden floor. What I've done so far, you can see it's got this raised section here. That was put on because it needed to clear the blowdown valve, although there isn't a blowdown valve on it anymore. The rivets on top were just decorative. It's all been soldered together. So I've already started. I've cut a piece of wood that goes that side, and another piece to go this side. Now this wood is the same thickness as the brass strip. And I was in two minds. I could either leave the brass piece intact, polish it up, bit of a feature, or put one piece each side. I'll need to file off the rivets and then place another piece over the whole thing. And that's what we're going to do. At the moment, these are just cut to the overall shape of the footplate. I need to turn it the other way up. You can see there's cutouts for, I think, drain cocks, or that's probably a water pipe that comes through for the bypass return, and this one's the drain cock, and that might be the top of the, there's bits, all sorts of bits. So I figured we'd get the top piece on first, and then we can look at putting all those extra bits in, because what's the point in cutting all of them twice? So we'll just cut them once through 2 layers. So the next thing I'll do is, sitting on the sofa because I'm still not in the workshop yet, I will just file off the heads of these. Take a little while, but I'm sitting watching TV, have a little lay down. So I won't be showing you that. It'll take longer than it would do in the workshop, but I'm sort of banned from going out there at the moment. Little bits at a time. I can't sit up for too long at a time, so I'm told. So we're still going. So what I've managed to do, I've super glued them down to the footplate. The next step will be looking at the top piece. So I've filed the rivets flush, they're on. I think I'll have to touch up the paint afterwards. But yes, so looking at the piece of wood, I've decided that I'm going to have the grain running across the footplate. So I'm having a look around the wood for the nicest edge for the grain, and then what I'll do, I will clamp it on and then just cut the outside. Now, I was hoping to keep the factory edge of the wood along the side of the long edge of the footplate. However, I haven't got anything in here to put under the footplate. Well, actually, I might have a piece of wood up there, but my thought was I didn't have anything to go under there, and the clamps won't go around that edge. So I was going to do it the other way, with the factory edge at the back, which mostly get cut off, but then the clamps can happily go in there. But I'll see if I've got something else and I can do it the other way around and then cut across the back. I'll be back. So being in the living room, I spotted my kindling basket for the open fire. Found a couple of bits, turned out I only needed one. Managed to put that in there so my clamps can grip that. And then my next job will just be to cut down there, cut along that edge, release that corner and then tidy up with a file, plus cut out the cutouts that go through the thing. But then again, I might fix that to the other bits of wood first. We'll see how I feel after I've fixed them. So I'm going to cut that out. I'm using just a hacksaw at the moment. Even the blade's probably a bit fine for what I'm doing. Because my coping saw, I found that my blades had all broken. But that would have been the ideal. I'm sure I've got more somewhere, but I can't find them at the moment. I can't dig around looking for them. So that's a pain. But hacksaw it is. I'll get on with that and I'll show you what it's like once I've cut it off. So I've done a little bit more. As you see, that top piece has been trimmed here and the slot for that pipe put in and filed. Slot for the drain cock linkage has been done. All I've got left to do is, as you can see, it needs a bit more trimming where I can't get to because of the clamps. So I'll move them, finish filing the rest to the right shape. Do one bit at a time. So I'll move that clamp now. I'll file there, just get it down to the level of the brass, work my way along, and then when I get to here, move that clamp over and finish this piece. Simple as. Just takes a little while, especially when I'm not at the vise. So then I'll take the top off, super glue it down when I'm sure I haven't damaged it at all. And then we'll look at putting some planks on and varnishing it. So I will, it's not great doing it here, so I'm not going to show it to you on camera, but suffice to say, I'm just holding it and filing it, generally going towards the brass so that it doesn't try and fold over and break the wood. So I'll be back to you shortly. So all of that's done. It's nicely filed. It wants sanding down on the top to get rid of those marks on top, but I don't really want to lose the position of the wood. So what I'm going to do is take one clamp off, as I have, ease that up, spray some glue in there, put the clamp back on this end, lift this one up, spray some glue that end, and that way we can more or less keep the wood where it is while we glue it down. So let's have a little go at that. There we go, one done. So I wasn't looking at the camera, so I don't even know if you saw that. And back to the other end. And in fact, to get an even press, even-ish, I'm going to put a bit of wood on there and clamp a bit of wood. The protective bits come off there, right. And if I can do it without sticking it to myself, that would be a bonus. There we go. Now I can leave that to dry for a little while. Half hour or so should do the trick. And then I can just tidy it up again with file off the excess glue, etc. And then later on we can give it a little touch up of paint and varnish. Big steps going on. I just got carried away and just kept going. So I've glued it on top. It's nice and solid. I've then sanded all the edges down, or filed down to the edge of the brass, cleaned up the slots, used a needle file to help with the slots, big file, and then finished off with a bit of sandpaper, which I've gone around the edges, cleaned it all up, and that is ready to have some planks, possibly. Actually, I'm not entirely sure at the moment. I think I'll put some planks on, probably about 3 or 4 down there. All I'm going to do is sort of scribe it with a ballpoint pen to leave a black line, and then I'll varnish it. The edges, don't know if you can see, where I'd got a bit of glue on the sides, they needed cleaning up. So I've sanded them down, and I'll give that a coat of paint. And to be honest, I've shown you enough painting recently, so that is where I'm going to leave you. Oh, this other thing is, there's 2 screw holes that fix this down to the loco. I will drill them through. About the only thing I'll get away with doing in the workshop. I'll do that while my wife's out so she doesn't know. So I'll get them drilled. It'll only take a couple of minutes, but then I can sand those holes as well, and then varnish the whole lot, and she'll be ready to go on the engine. So the next time you see any of this, I will do a little video of the loco on the track and unveil the finished project. But I don't know when that'll be, because I'm not in control of the assembly and the finishing of the chassis. I haven't spoken to Dad recently, so I don't know where it's at. Maybe before I post this, I will find out, and you might see from me in a minute telling you where we're at. So, thanks very much. I will save the outro until I'm ready to post this, in case I've spoken to Dad. So, see you later. So that's pretty much where we're at now. I have done the planking on the footplate, the scribed lines. I've varnished it as well with a dark oak varnish, but I haven't shown you that because I thought I'd save that as a bit of a surprise for when the engine's finished. Let's finish it there. Thanks for watching. So appreciative of everyone that likes it and all the lovely comments I get. And I will be back soon. I have got another project in mind that I've started, which I will be showing you, that is a lightweight project that I've been doing in the house. And then there might be something else coming soon as well, but we will see. I'm waiting for something to be delivered for that. So, couple of surprises coming up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.